Alright, so this morning we are going to be demonstrating the category for Super Mario Bros. 3 recently developed called All Switches. I am RaikouRider, and this will be a little bit of a preview of what will be happening with the All-Stars run later this week. So our objective in this run is going to be completing the game while hitting all 38 of the P-switches. It's a little bit in the same spirit as All Forts was when it started. There's actually not too many people that have times in this category. I want to say there's currently just 3 of us, but we're looking to expand this because the routing for it, item-wise, is completely different from every other category in the game, and you get to see a lot of new content that you would not see in any other category of the game. So let's go ahead and get this show on the road in 3, 2, 1, go. So one interesting thing about All Switches is it uses all 3 of the warp whistles, but in a different way from All Fortresses. And one thing that makes the item routing for this category very interesting is every level that has a P-switch in it, we won't be able to skip, with one exception that you'll see a little bit later on in the run. Well, not a little bit, but a lot of it. The category in terms of length is very similar to Warpless. You'll also see a lot more of Raccoon Mario and just Tail in general, because a lot of the switches late in the game require flight. So this stage, we're actually going to be playing just to pick up the whistle. This category uses all 3 of the warp whistles, much like All Fortresses does. But it uses them in different ways. We're going to actually be skipping different worlds than the All Fortresses run does. But we will make use of all 3 of them. Okay, good. That jump always has me a little bit scared, because if you get tagged, you can actually lose quite a bit of time. So now that is actually every switch in World 1, and stages 5 and 6 there are no more switches, so we can just warp out and go to the next world. So this is the first stage in the game where you'll see major deviation from other categories. Because there's a hidden switch up here. You'll see a lot of the bonus rooms that you won't see in other categories in this one. So I want to say this category owes its existence to Barnowl. He runs a lot of different Super Mario Bros. Games and is known for coming up with some pretty creative ways to play them. So big shout-outs to him for the existence of this category, because it's a lot of fun and it's very different from any other Super Mario Bros. 3 run. But one of the reasons why I wanted to offer this category for Superstars is it has a lot of "wait, that exists" moments. For those of you who've never played the game casually, it can be pretty eye-opening seeing some of the secrets that Nintendo has placed, because there are actually a lot of really well-hidden rooms in this game. And you'll actually even get to see some of the suits that you wouldn't get to see in other categories as well. There's actually a frog suit that we're going to be picking up for use later on in the run. Oh, stage 3. This is such a neat stage in this category. You do this completely differently from... Oh, got the corner of the block. This was one of my favorite things to do as a kid, was hit that switch and then turn all these blocks into coins. You don't get to actually see the pyramids of blocks that you're intended to collect from that switch, but you do get to see a very quick way to exit the stage rather than having to wait for the shell. It's actually only marginally slower than the warpless strat. Whoops. But a lot of the strategies that apply in other categories do still apply here. You want to avoid getting the same card 3 times at the end of a stage, because it'll slow you down, because you'll have to wait for fireworks, and we don't have time to celebrate. So I actually missed a strat here. You're supposed to be able to get P-Speed underneath where all of those semi-solid platforms and Goombas are, and be able to fly up to here without using this vine. But unfortunately couldn't quite make it happen. It's actually really difficult to do that, because you have a one block margin of error to be able to actually make that P-Speed. Okay, good. I think this is the guy that has the hammer. Because I actually do need the hammer, and I'm going to use it in this world to obtain the 3rd whistle. Yes, there it is. So, hopefully that other hammer brother will cooperate and stay out of my way. Actually, looks like it might... Well, there's still a chance that I'll get it. So you'll actually get to see the top route in 2-4. Which is something that you never really see outside of casual playthroughs. Please. Almost got hit there. That would have been pretty bad. Alright, cool. Looks like he is actually going to cooperate. So this is where we're going to pick up our frog suit. When Barnell and I originally did the routing for this category, we picked up the frog suit at the end, or about halfway through World 3. And then we realized that since we have to pick up this warp whistle anyway... Whoops. That's not good at all. Yikes. That's going to make this pyramid slow now. Hammer Brother hitboxes are no fun at all. Hello? Speaking of hitboxes... Yeah, this game had... They're fixed a little bit in the All-Stars version from the NES version, but some of the hitboxes in this game are still a little bit suspect. Please. Thank you. Oh, that was not a good stage. Yikes. Like, sure, let's actually avoid the extra Hammer Brother and then lose 30 seconds. As fun of a speedrun as Super Mario Bros. 3 is, it's very unforgiving. You can lose a lot of time just from the smallest mistakes. What I wanted to do was actually keep this tail to make some of the stages in World 3 easier, particularly the first one. A 3-1, the way we have the items routed, is slightly faster with a tail because you can fly over most of the level and not have to worry about Mario 3 swim physics, which... If you're not familiar with Mario 3 swimming physics, they're not very conducive to speedrunning. Not at all. Wow, Morton is not playing nice. He gave me one of the worst patterns possible. There are 38 switches. I think the next place I'll be able to pick up Tail is in Stage 4, which is a stage you need to play because it has a switch in it. So a lot of the item routing for this category is based around what stages you're required to play because of the switches. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do a lot of the fish jumps in this level because of the P-switch close to the end. We can do some of them in the first half, but not in the second half. The reason why we can't do these is because there's a switch that absolutely requires this lift to be able to get to. That piranha plant actually scared me a little bit because that particular piranha plant will despawn on the NES version, but not on the All-Stars version. This is where we used to pick up our frog suit, but now that we picked that one up in World 2, it's a little bit faster. Because what it does is it just saves on maps on map movement. This is also something neat that you get to do in this category, is use this block bridge that's formed by the switch. And you have just enough jump height to actually be able to jump clean over that wall of blocks. And yes, there is a switch that requires frog suit to get. Well, it doesn't strictly require it, but it's much faster to do it with a frog suit. Nice. Another nice thing about this category in particular is you can't actually lose runs to Hammer Bro RNG because you have to do 3-7 for multiple reasons. Not only is there a switch in that level, but there's another secret that we're going to use later on. I won't spoil it until we get there. It's... If you play Randomizer, then you'll probably be familiar with it. But we're going to be picking this up for a little bit later on. The balance between Fire Flower and Tail is actually really interesting in this category. We do have to play a couple of auto-scrollers, but it's not too many. This is one of the auto-scrollers we have to play because there's a switch at the end. I probably could have gone a cycle earlier, just wasn't used to where that scrolling was at the time. Alright, so 3-7. This is one of the reasons why we picked up the Tail, because there's a switch in kind of an awkward position in this level. That's not where this... Oh, no, that is where it is. It's up there. There's a switch up in the clouds right here. But that's not the only reason why. There's this coin heaven that has a nice surprise at the end of here. And one kind of neat thing about the switches category is there can be a little bit of on-the-fly routing for marathon settings, because there's this extra cloud here. The only reason why we get this cloud is because there's a switch in this level. We have to beat this level anyway. So we may as well come in here and get it. For purposes of the marathon and the route that I have, it's mostly a backup. Because there are some situations where the route can really get upset. If you take an unexpected death. So there's a little bit of on the fly you have to do with the routing sometimes if you don't have... Like, just if something goes wrong. Obviously, if you're doing personal best attempts, there's... You know where you're going to use it, and the run just dies if you don't... If you don't use the... If you just die, you can just reset. But in a setting like this, that's not really plausible. For instance, in a setting like this, there are some stages where if you don't have the right power-up, it can be faster to skip one stage and play a different stage. And also shout outs to Tompa for all the explanations with regards to some of the more obscure locations, because there are some pretty obscure locations. Ah! Was trying to go for a couple swag lives there. By bouncing off the bullet bills and rocky wrenches at the start of this airship, you can actually get a couple of one-ups. What else are you gonna do on these auto-scrollers? There's nothing. There's no way you can make this faster. Good. Wendy can be quite a jerk. You might have noticed that I actually delayed at the start of that fight. That was just to make sure that the ring that she fires at the start of the battle was in a spot that it wouldn't get in the way towards the end of the fight. So World 4 is really where some of the switches start to become pretty well hidden. Not the first one in this world. The first one in this world is actually in plain sight. Again, just want to make sure that you don't get 3 stars in a row at the end of stages. It's actually a little bit more forgiving on this version of the game, just because it takes less time for the 1-up sound effect to play, so you actually get your 5-up a little bit more quickly. So 4-3 is just a fan favorite for speedruns anyway. Like this level is really cool if you know what you're doing. In the beginning of it, when you have Tail, you kind of have to just adapt to what the Sledge Brothers are doing. I got all 3 bros on the right side. I might have to face them all depending on what I get. So, this frog suit. Well, I'm not going to be able to use it yet because there's a bro in my way. So, the frog suit that I picked up at the end of World 2, we're actually going to use it in this level to do some really cool clips. And it just makes the level in general faster. A frog suit is not necessary to get into this pipe, but it's significantly faster, and you can use the frog's swim speed to speed up the rest of this level as well. I am gonna dump it, though, before the end. I love those clips. Those clips are so neat. So the reason why I wasn't too concerned about having to take a hit here is because in addition to the switch, there's a very convenient tanuki in this room that you can grab if you're missing a power-up. Okay, please be the P-Wing. Cool. So if that other bro doesn't get in my way, I can skip him, because I believe he has just a music box. It's a music box or a star or something not pertinent. Just some item I don't really care about. So one really interesting thing about this category switches is even though we have access to the warp whistles, it is actually faster to play the stage than it is to play some future stages later on. So even though we have access to all the warp whistles, we still play the 2.5-minute auto-scroller airship. You do still need to watch for your coin count in this category, in just any SMB3 category really, because you want to make sure that your tens digit of your score and your coins don't match. Because if you do that in worlds 1, 3, 5, or 6, you'll get a coin chip, which wastes about a minute. And I have had many PB pace runs in this category ruined by coin chips. But towards the end of the next world, you'll see why we played this stage instead. I almost blew that. Alright, so this next stage, if you have a leaf, you actually want a star for this stage, because we're going to need to get flight at the start of this stage to take care of this chomp. Whoops. It is faster to use a P-Wing here in general, but I think I may have missed one somewhere. So now you're actually going to get to see another really neat, another really neat secret you never get to see in any category. You get to see the alternate exit to stage 5-1. It's just convenient for us to take that exit because of where the switch is located. And I know several of you have questions as to why clearing the World 4 airship, why I chose to clear the World 4 airship. It'll become evident at the end of this world. There is an item that would be nice to have here. But because I have tail, it's not imperative that I pick this up. So there's a P-Wing here that if the... Oh, he's gonna get in my way anyway. So now we have an extra P-Wing that I'm gonna have to figure out where is gonna be best to use it. I was kind of hoping that Bro would not get in my way. There's still Hammer Bro RNG, but it's not as important as it is in, say, Warpless. Just missed it. That's okay though. There's another tail we can pick up at the beginning of, I think, 5-5. There's one we can get in 5-4 as well, which I'm probably gonna grab just in case, because I've been getting hit at the beginning of 5-5 a lot. Ducking underneath that first thwomp is just really hard. Whoops. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick up the tail at the start of this stage, just in case I take a hit someplace dumb in the next level. Because it's very easy, very, very easy to take a hit here. And of course I avoid it when it doesn't matter. There's a backup Tanuki there if you need it. Alright, so 5-6. Unfortunately, we do need to play this level because it does have a switch in it close to the end. Probably my favorite thing about running this category is showing it to people who've only learned this game as a speedrun rather than casually. And even the casuals get to see a lot of stuff that you just don't know is there. This category doesn't show all the bonus rooms, but it shows a lot of them. Thankfully, in this version of the game, the pipe glitch at the end of this level is actually patched. On the NES version, if you enter that pipe on the first frame possible, you'll actually get crushed against the right side of the screen and take a death. Okay, so 5-7. This is so neat. This is one of my favorite levels in this category. We actually need to use a P-Wing for this level, for reasons you're about to see. Check this out. I want to say that switch can actually only be accessed with a P-Wing. So now that we've hit all the switches in this world, we can actually warp to World 6. This is the reason why we played the World 4 airship, is because we get to skip 4 stages, including an auto-scroller. Unfortunately, I took a hit at the end of 5-7, so I am going to need to do this level a little slowly. Because there's a really well-hidden switch in this level, and you need tail to get to it. I'm not quite sure how you're expected to find this, because this is so well hidden. It's just randomly up in the sky, and there's no indication that there's even a door up here. Just wasn't quite sure where I was. You don't get a very good reference point of where you're at for that either. World 6 is one of those worlds that's prone to time loss in any category, just from long hammer dances. I've seen top runners of this game have runs ruined in even 100% just from getting 20-second long hammer dances, as we call them, where the Hammer Brothers, just for whatever reason, take their sweet time shuffling on the world map. That's mandatory, by the way. OPOP. I think that's good. What? Wow, I had to be just frames off. I need to get tail back to somewhere. I think I'm gonna have to get tail back by using a P-Wing. I thought about skipping this level with a cloud, but then I came to the realization that I actually need, I need to play this level because this is where we pick up our hammer suit. It's just I'm just being a little careful here because it's really important that I keep this P-Wing. Mostly just need it for the tail. Whoops. That was pretty slow. Hey, Tompa, cut me a break. It's early. I think I actually need this. I think this is something. I might be getting this mixed up with World 5. Yep. Yeah, I knew there was something back here. So that extra cloud that we picked up in 3-7 is going to get used here. Slopes in Mario 3 are so dumb. Wow, I missed the H-jump. I haven't missed the H-jump in a long time. So another reason why I like this category so much is this is, I believe, the only category that actually makes you play 6-9. And by make you play 6-9, I mean you can't just fly over this level. So you'll actually get to see this level. You'll also get to see this mechanic. A lot of people don't know that the P-switches also turn the munchers into coins. And you can use that to get a hammer suit in the next level, but it's not actually useful for the speedrun because of just some caveats. Almost had a little warpless muscle memory mistake there. Wasn't quite sure where I was. Alright, so 6F3. If I could skip this level, I would, but unfortunately this level builds a bridge on the world map, so there's no way we can skip this level. I really do not like this level. It's one of the more difficult fortresses in the game, for sure. I actually missed dynamically routed clouds. I'm gonna have an extra cloud at the end of this level. Or at the end of the round, rather. There's a stage I should have skipped. I should have skipped 6-3, actually. It's like I'm playing randomizer or something, having extra clouds. I'm really happy with this pace, though. This pace is actually really good. So because I have that extra cloud... I'm definitely going to have to use the extra cloud on 7-1 now. Normally I would do a clip here, but I forgot to take damage at the end of this fight to become Big Mario for the clip. And I think this is actually the last level I can use a cloud on anyway. So, because of that, I'm going to end up using my extra cloud here, which I don't have to deal with a clip now, but I really wanted to use this elsewhere. I just did not do dynamic routing properly. Yep, I am going to have an extra cloud at the end of this run, unfortunately, and I apologize, Tompa. So this level we actually do have to play because there's a switch. There's a switch here. Get out of here. I know Barn was talking about another arbitrary category called all white mushroom houses, which is another very silly thing that he came up with. And getting that mushroom house is actually one of the more difficult quote-unquote casual challenges in this game. I think it actually requires a frog suit. So 7-3 we do actually have to play because there is a switch here. It's what I like to call the debated switch, because this switch is intended to slow you down for Lakitu, and it only causes 7 coins to appear. Yep, I'm gonna have 1 extra cloud. Yeah, okay. Just needed to check my items to see if using something was necessary. That's every casual player's favorite P-switch in the game. I remember farming lives there as a kid. I think almost everybody who played this game casually remembers farming lives there as a kid. Alright, so now there are no more switches in this world, so we're actually done. World 7 is really, really short. So now we're on to World 8, which is Auto-Scroller Alley. Oh wait, no, we're right on track for clouds. We are actually right on track. And 7-1 is not the ideal level to skip, but... But it was the only level left that I could skip at the time when I realized I still had an extra cloud. If only there was a place I could use the cannonballs to farm 1-ups in here that was reasonable for a human being to do. I've seen a lot of the play-around tasks in auto-scrollers like this, and they do some pretty fun things. Wow, I missed. There still are some switches in World 8, there's just not many of them. I think there's 5. And speaking of one of the switches in this world, there's a switch in 8.1 that has a very unique strategy. So you'll get to see it in a couple of stages. Oh yeah, hands. How many hands? I would like 0 hands, please. Ah! Of course. At least I'll have a leaf that I can use before the ships. Okay, I just got one, that's fine. Well, yes, hands is one of the reasons why I think 100% is the best main category for SMB3, because you don't have to deal with hand RNG. I'm actually in the process of trying to cut the hour in Warpless, and every single run that I've gotten to World 8 for the last couple of months has died to hands. All I want to do is cut 10 seconds, and the game just won't let me. Or 11 seconds, rather, because my best time in Warpless is 1 hour 10 seconds. Ugh! Okay, that's fine as long as I don't die to Boom Boom, which shouldn't be an issue. It's so scary. Alright, so this next stage has one of the most unique strategies in probably this entire category. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to... there's a P-switch at the start of this level. This is one of my favorite strats. That death is on purpose. I just realized I forgot to grab the hammer suit I forgot to grab the hammer suit after doing 6-5, so unfortunately we're not going to see the hammer kill. That's really unfortunate. Just... I can't believe I forgot to grab the hammer suit in World 6. And I just did that. Alright, so the Fortress in World 8 is unique in this category in that it is the only stage that has 3 switches. I can pick that back up later. So I think I get the feeling that forgetting that hammer suit might have actually cost me sub-hour, which is something I've been trying to get in this category as well. Because if I had done, because the whole point of doing 6-5 is to get the hammer suit. If you don't have the hammer suit, it's actually fast. If you're not getting the hammer suit for Bowser, it's actually faster to skip 6-5. 6-5 actually has some really well-hidden stuff in it as well. Like, there's an extra life that needs a tail to get to that's in kind of an interesting spot. Actually, no, I think we have sub-hour. So normally I would have a hammer suit for the Bowser fight, and Bowser dies in about 1.5 seconds, but he's gonna take a little bit of extra time to kill. So Bowser will actually get some screen time in this run. That's fine. It's something like a 30-second difference with the hammer suit. Alright, cool, we're done. Just gotta go through the door. So this is actually my first sub-hour of this category. How fitting for it to come in a marathon setting. And that's time. Cool. I'll take that. Now, if only it were this simple, cutting the hour in warpless. The hammer suit is not in 6-5. It's after 6-5. It opens up a mushroom house that has a guaranteed hammer suit. So, I hope you all like the category. I kind of want to see more people get into this, because this is a really fun one to do. It shows off a lot of the game that you don't get to see. But in any case, I need to get back to bed. Thanks for watching, everybody.